Hi, I'm Marcelino Flores, and this is Barbara Carr. We're with Fuse Business Training, and today we just wanted to take a moment to talk to you about how to have a great and productive day. Barbara, what are your thoughts on that?
Mars, what I love most about this topic is that you and I have both been working on this for some time now.
Yeah.
And for me, it started when you introduced me to the 5 a.m. Club. So before I share some of my thoughts, I'd like you to share with our audience what the 5 a.m. Club is.
Absolutely. 5 a.m. Club is a book. It's written by Robin Sharma. But essentially, it comes down to controlling your day so that you can control the way that the day progresses. We don't want to start off getting out of bed and being rushed and being behind the 8 ball right away. And as soon as you walk out the door, it feels like a ton of bricks just fell on your shoulders. So we're taking control of that and making sure that we're controlling the way that our day goes. And we're making sure that we have time in there for relaxed time to sit back and think about what your day is going to be like and prepare for the day so that you're ready to take on the day instead of the day taking you on.
Right. And one of the things that we learned in that book was how to start your day off, that first hour of your day.
Absolutely.
Right? And so that first 20 minutes you spend working out, exercising.
That's right. Getting those endorphins going, getting the
Yeah.
body moving.
And when you first shared that with me, my first thought was, wait a minute, you're waking up at 5 a.m. and then you're going to work out?
Absolutely.
And so I've jumped on the bandwagon with you after you shared your success story. And, you know, at one point you got to like day 37 and I was like, wow, that's awesome. And then next thing I knew you were in the 50s and then it just kept growing. And I was like, I want to be like Mars. And it was very difficult for me.
I remember those text messages that you were sending me like, oh, I finally got up today, but it's like 5:30, but I'm trying. But essentially what I wanted to share with everybody, it doesn't matter as long as it doesn't have to be 5 o'clock set time. Just get up at least an hour or two earlier than what you normally do, just so you can get ready for the day. The 3 things that we were talking about, what Barbara was talking about, is your morning routine. What Robin shares is a 20-20-20 rule, which is 20 minutes of exercise, 20 minutes of reviewing your goals, reviewing your life, and then 20 minutes of learning of whatever career you're in, any topic that you're interested in, just to keep your mind rejuvenated, to keep your soul on fire so that you're ready to take on that day.
Right. And you know, what helped me after all those struggles of waking up at 5 a.m. is that my husband Isaac actually joined in with me in the 5 a.m. club. He is much better at getting up at 5 a.m. than I am. In fact, I have to give him so much credit because that poor man is dragging me out of bed almost every morning. And when I first get up with him and I'm like, it's 5 a.m., I don't want to do this, and I'm grumpy. And inside I feel grumpy at him while we go for our morning run. We live in a subdivision, so we go for a nice run. It's a beautiful run. 5 a.m. is beautiful. It's so quiet and peaceful out there, and we go for a run around our subdivision. We come back, and the whole time I'm like, grumpy inside. But then we get back in the house, and we jump into our Bible study. So he and I both do our Bible study, and we do it in 2 separate rooms of the house because, that's our time to be alone with God on our journey. And we do a lot of things together biblically as well, but this particular time in the morning is our own time with God. And so I typically go up to the bedroom, and he typically sits on our couch in the living room. And we spend our time with God, and at that moment is usually when I'm like, I'm so happy that I got up at 5 a.m. I'm so happy that I went on a jog with the man I love. I am so happy that he keeps putting up with me every morning, even though I'm so grumpy at him. So by the time we finish our Bible study, I go down and let him know that I'm not grumpy anymore and that I'm so grateful for him. And then that's when we get together again and start waking up our kids. We actually spend about 30 or 40 minutes in our Bible study.
Okay.
And after we get the kids off to school, that's when I jump into reviewing my goals.
Okay.
So one thing that I learned while I was going through all of these struggles is that that's an outline. And it's great to start, but it doesn't have to be exactly that. I know that you did a good job doing 20-20-20, right?
Absolutely.
But what I learned was if I had to stick to that 20-20-20, and it didn't feel comfortable for me, I was going to fail. So I did the 20 minutes of exercise. You know what? Anybody can do 20 minutes of exercise, even if it's just walking. There are many times on our run where I tell Isaac, you go, I'm going to walk. But the good news is I'm still moving, right? Now that doesn't happen all the time, but there are times, specific times of the month where I don't care to run, but I'm still walking, I'm still moving. And then we get in and we've changed that 20 minutes of, learning and growing into 40 because it's our time with God, right? And for everybody, it's going to be different. But the way I encourage you is to find what works for you. Start off trying the 20-20-20. And if you need to adjust it based on your life, then do so. For us, we had to wake the kids up right in the middle of that, so that was part of it. But do what you're comfortable with, but start with a baseline.
Absolutely, and while you were talking, especially with your Bible study, you brought up an excellent point, which is what everybody should be doing. That you are grateful, that you are so happy that you're so happy that you're so happy that that's you being grateful for what you have, and that's what many people have to start realizing. And to say this with the uttermost respect and love, to start with gratitude. Be grateful for what you already have while you're going for the future. Because if we start feeding our minds negative things early in the morning, your day's going to probably go towards a negative path.
It will, for sure.
Absolutely. So if you concentrate on things that you're grateful for, I'm so grateful for my wife at home, Myra, my 2 kids at home that support me as well. I'm grateful that my son is healthy. I'm grateful that we have a roof over our heads, that I get to do what I love. As a career, I'm grateful for all those things. Just if everybody else can start off the day with the same thing, just being grateful for what they already have, as well as moving towards your goals in the future, I think we'll be in a great place.
And one of the things that I'd like to add to what you just said is something that we both also learned from a different book called 7 Levels of Communication. Mm-hmm. Mars and I have a mutual friend, Nick Kuchke, and he introduced me to the book, and then I introduced Mars to the book, and Mars introduced me to the 5 a.m. Club. So we've constantly been introducing each other to things. But in this book, the 7 Levels of Communication, it talks about being grateful first thing in the morning, spending time in the morning going through your daily affirmations and reciting them out loud. And in fact, one of the things that helped me with that was when I first read this book, because my buddy Nick introduced me to it, he and I would have an 8 a.m. phone call every day just to recite our affirmations to one another over the phone. And at first it was super powerful. We were so excited. And then it got to where it was like just habit. So it wasn't as fun. So then we decided we need to respond to each thing. So you say your affirmation and then I say, that's right. Or you say your goal and I say, you got that. We would just make it much more powerful. But the point of it was having somebody else who also shared that goal that you have that could keep you accountable so that when your day starts, it's on a positive note. Have you ever felt like if you're running late first thing in the morning, your whole day ends up behind?
Absolutely. That's in the back of your head. You're already rushed. You're not thinking ahead. You don't foresee the things that you probably would have foreseen if you would have had a little extra time. Absolutely. That's why it's so important that even if it's a little bit before that you get up earlier than normal, but so that you can take control of the day instead of the day controlling you.
Exactly. And I will say that when Isaac and I first started this 5 a.m. club, it took us months to get it right. But we didn't stop. We didn't give up. And now I'm so happy that we do it.
It's like Bruce Lee used to say, you take whatever works, discard what doesn't, add a little bit of what's your own, and that's how we grow. And that's how you keep it fresh and alive, and things that make it you, like you were saying earlier, where it became a routine with your accountability partner, with Nick at 8 in the morning. But you changed it up a little bit. Now you started responding to each other. So everything is a set point. You get to a point where it goes back to normal. So it stops being new. It stops being fun. So you got to keep adding a few little things. You got to keep an open mind. So with what you guys did, you just made it fresh again. Yep. You took the old idea, but you recycled it and added something new to it. So that's great. And that's what I encourage everyone to do. Keep things fresh. Don't let things get stale.
Right, and in that same book, 7 Levels of Communication, while we're doing our affirmations, it also asks us to list 5 to 10 things that we're grateful for that day. So every morning at 8 a.m., Nick and I would recite our affirmations, and then we would have to come up with 5 to 10 things that we're grateful for at 8 o'clock in the morning. And so sometimes I'd be driving, and one thought that came in my head is, I'm so grateful that I have this car. It's nothing fancy, but it gets me where I need to go.
Absolutely.
And it's reliable. And there are some times when the sun is just shining so beautifully. So it's like, I'm grateful for the sunlight.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be something big. You could be grateful for the little things in life. In fact, you should be grateful for the little things in life, because that's what creates the big things.
Absolutely. And anything is like everything else. It's a muscle. The more you concentrate on it, the more that your mind, your subconscious starts concentrating on those things. You'll start being grateful for those little things. Somebody got you a cup of coffee. You're grateful for that. You're happy with your life because you're concentrating on the good things. You're intentionally thinking about the good things that are happening to you.
Right. And, somebody I heard speak the other day talked about that every once in a while he will pull over to the side of the road just to admire the beauty that has been created by our God. And I thought, we're in such a busy hustle and bustle world that how often do people actually pause to be grateful?
Yeah, absolutely.
How much more powerful that might be.
Especially nowadays where everybody's rushing from here to there. I got meetings, I got social media, how often people get lost in their phones and other things instead, and now you're just busy being busy instead of being effective and going towards those things that are going to get you to the goals in your life. So I think it's so important that you do sit there and just be grateful for what you already have, and look around. There's so many people have blinders on that they think they're living a bad life. If you have a car, you're already richer than most people in this world. You just got to put perspective into it and see the way that you view the world as well.
Yeah. And something that Isaac had picked up at one point was to sleep on the floor occasionally instead of in your comfy bed, which Isaac did for a long time, and I just couldn't bring myself to do it. I will someday. I have a goal. But it's similar to fasting. You deprive yourself of an earthly thing because it's not what's important, and it helps you to appreciate the godly things in our life a lot more.
Absolutely. That's why I so encourage people to travel as well and have different experiences, because things that you buy, big purchases that you make with money, eventually you're going to get back to the happiness set point. You're going to forget about it. It's going to be another thing. But if you spend your money on experiences, going to see how other people live, like you said, depriving yourself, seeing how other people don't have what we have as well, you learn to appreciate so much more the little things in our life that we take for granted.
For sure. And, another thing that I learned from Isaac, I learned so much from him, is that when you're stressed and you seem to be irritable, or you're treating other people in a way that you don't want to treat them, the best thing that you could do is volunteer or do something nice for somebody else.
Absolutely. I found that to be true time and time again. If you're feeling down, help somebody else, you will instantly start feeling better.
Right. Marsh, you were sharing with me recently about something else that would help people have a great day. One of the things I really love about us both is that we are very optimistic, and we do what we need to do to have a great day, and we help others around us have a great day. But what you shared with me recently about those 6 steps that you were reading in another book, can you share with our audience more about that?
Absolutely. The idea comes from Vishen Lakhiani from Mind Valley, and it's his form of meditation, basically. I'm almost scared to call it meditation because of the taboo-ness that comes with it. But essentially what you're doing is just visualizing your life and making sure that you are happy in the now and heading towards the future. So what it comes down to is 6 things: compassion, gratitude, forgiveness, your future, your perfect day, and then letting God, the universe inside of you, to fill you up. So you just sit down and close your eyes, you relax, and then first you bring up somebody that you love. Say your child, your mother, anybody that you love. Wrap them in a bubble. Feel the love that you feel for them, and then you slowly expand it until you eventually cover the whole planet with that love. Next thing you do, like you were saying earlier with the gratitude, name at least 3 things that you're grateful for in your personal life, in your work life, and for you, you yourself. It's not time to be shy about yourself. That's what so many people lack, are self-love. So it's so important that you give 3 things that you're grateful for something about yourself. Next is forgiveness. I know we had touched about that earlier as well. And there are so many of us that don't have, that are have hate and or regressions and or grudges against things that might have happened in the past that can be affecting so much of your life right now. And just little by little, if you start learning to forgive, just putting it out there, saying, putting yourself in that situation and forgiving that person, pretending or in your mind playing that you forgive them, it's a game changer. It opens up your brain waves that you can have. It opens up so how you feel so much. After the forgiveness, then you think about your life where you want it in the future. So put a projector like the one right behind us or the whiteboard. Pretend there's something right 6 feet in front of you and there's a projector playing. Now fast forward 3 to 5 years. Where do you see yourself? But actually immerse yourself. What smells are you smelling? What are you eating? What are you wearing? What are you looking like? What career are you having? It's so important to bring all your senses into it. Followed by a perfect day today. I'll break it up into sections. So when I go to the gym, what's going to happen? I feel myself having a great workout. Then my meetings in the morning with yourself, with anybody else, with our clients, I picture myself with those meetings already having a great time and a great day. Fast forward to my family. I get home in the afternoon. I'm having a great time with my wife, with my daughter, with my son. We're spending time playing together. I visualize all of that. And then finally, I just sit there and let the power of the love of God, the universe, just flow within me and just fill me up so that I know that I'm going to get through this day in the best way possible.
That's pretty powerful. We encourage you guys to try one or more of these tips that we've shared today and let us know how it changes your day. Let us know how it changes your world.
Biggest takeaway, get up just a little bit early if you can. Everybody can. You just got to, if it's important to you, you will find a time to do it or you will find a way to do it. But take control of your day before you let the day control you. That's it. Just start with one little step if you can. Go all in if you can. And please contact us with any questions and we'll be more than happy to help.